Tigers, come on! Yeah! Hey Cats fans, we did it! We did it! Yes! Finally! We never had any doubt. Not at all, not for a minute, not for a second. Cats by 1 point against Brisbane Lions last night. How good was it? How good was it to get back on the winners list again? Oh, could you imagine being 0-2? How shocking would that have been? But we got the win, we got the 4 points. We'll get into the controversies and all that sort of stuff, but let's just enjoy the moment while we can. Cats had a win. Goodness me, we nearly lost it, but we had the win, and that's all that really counts. So this is the round 2 review, Cats versus Lions. I think, what do we get, 81-80 or something like that, 82-81. Anyway, we win. We won the game. Isaac Smith kicked the sealer. How does everyone feel about that? I'm a bit torn, actually. I know a couple of people on Twitter are pretty keen, and they've already fallen in love with him, but goodness me, people, it doesn't take you much. Do you realise he's been a Hawthorn player for about 10 years, and, you're better at me. You're a better human being than I am anyway. He's going to have to win a grand final, hold the Premiership Cup, and possibly have to win the Norm Smith for me to get close to giving him a little bit of respect. I'm going to try. That's all I can promise, but it's going to take a lot. Anyway, last night was the debut of Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Am I doing that right? I don't know if I'm doing that right. Anyway, Frank the Tank, he played all right, didn't he? He kicked the first goal within a few minutes, and I think he kicked another one, or lucky to kick the second one, I guess. Hawkins had a shocking bounce. It was going, and it just sort of pitched the other way, and I'm like, what was going on there? But anyway, Frank the Tank was there, and he finished it off for us, so good job, Francis Evans. I don't think anyone's calling him Francis at the club. I think everyone's just going with the Frank, or Frank the Tank, so happy that he played well on his first day up for his first game. Chances are he'll get another go next week, I'd say. There's no reason why they'd drop him, I would think. All right, let's get into the talk. We've got to talk about the umpiring. Got to talk about the shocking umpiring decision, all the decisions happening all night. The big one, I guess, that all the neutrals and all the Brisbane supporters especially are probably talking about is how they couldn't spot Blitzar's quick handball at the end there. They missed it. He's just too fast. No, seriously though, probably a free kick. I think most people would, even the most one-eyed Cat supporter would probably say there was an incorrect disposal or holding the ball, however you want to interpret that. There was definitely prior opportunity. There was definitely incorrect disposal. And it should have definitely been 4 points to the Brisbane Lions at the end of the game there. So I think we got away with one there, but we'll take it. We'll take it. And lots of Brizzy supporters out there, and even some neutrals are a little bit salty this morning. They're going to have to get over that. It happens, you know. But can't not talk about that incident without talking about how many free kicks in the forward 50 Brisbane got. Like, it was ridiculous. It was comical. I couldn't believe what was going on there. I don't think I've ever seen that amount of free kicks in the one game for the same team. And don't get me wrong, I'm not that one-eyed that I can't see that some of them weren't there. But goodness me, there was a whole bunch of others that, I mean, what is going on? You're gifting Brisbane this game, and it was only that we were playing so well through most of the game and we were kicking straight, and they weren't taking their opportunities. If they'd kicked straighter and we'd missed a few more, I got a bad feeling we would have been 0-2. But luckily enough, we beat Brisbane and we beat the umpires, and all the talk will be about that one final decision. But goodness me, there was a lot more bad decisions than that. It's a tough job being an umpire, I get that. Not an easy gig, but goodness me. And it's round 2, a lot of the players are a bit rusty as well, but umpires, oh my goodness me. I think the umpiring department, or whatever they're called, came out today and said they made a blue as well. So at least I hate it when they sort of pretend like, oh no, it was a mistake, it was all fine. If you've made a mistake, just own up to it. That's all people really want at the end of the day. Brisbane will still be a bit dirty. They didn't get the 4 points, and it might affect their chances of winning the premiership, I guess. It's only 2 rounds in, but lots can happen for the rest of the year. But it really does set you back a little way. So Geelong's kind of righted the ship a little bit. I remember 2007 we were 2-3. Look how that year turned out. So it's way too early to sort of call a season yet. But you'd much rather be 1-1 or 2-0 than 0-2 to start a season. That's for sure. All right, so we've talked about the umpiring. I'm not going to bang on about that. Go to Twitter if you want to see all that sort of stuff. Let's talk about Gary Rohan. He started pretty well last night. I was a bit disappointed in the Cats, actually, for when he appeared to be knocked out, or concussed, and he seemed to be out before he hit the ground, and then he sort of was down for a few seconds, and then was on the field for a few minutes after that even, until they finally got him off and took him down into the change rooms to have a bit of a closer look. And I can't remember how long he was off the ground for, but it felt like about 10 or so minutes, maybe even a little bit longer. So yeah, he came back on, and clearly something was going wrong, because he started throwing punches at Lachie Neal, which and maybe this is where I am being a little bit biased as Geelong supporter, but in the vision that I saw, it looked like he struck him high in the chest. It was more of a round arm, sort of in the chest area, and then sort of Lachie Neal sort of tried to sort of throw his head into it, or maybe just sort of lift it up a little bit. But I didn't really think there was much there, to be honest. So hopefully the match review panel, or whatever they're called, they have a look at that and they think, yeah, it's not really worth much there. But the media will beat it up, of course. It's Geelong, and the Paddy jumping on the Paddy thing from last week as well. So I expect he'll get off. He might get a fine, I guess. Probably should give Lachie Neal a fine as well for Mr. 3 touches in a half. Should give him a fine as well for milking it for all it was worth. But I'm sure he hasn't got any jaw pain today. I think he just sold that as well as he could. So I'm sure there's people out there who will say, no, he fair clocked him in the temple. But no, he was nowhere near it. The vision I saw was more high chest, so whatever, see how you want. But no, up to that point I thought Rowan was going okay. He kind of faded a bit after that and did a couple of good things. But you always know the Cats are going to be on when Rowan starts the game early. That's my feed. He feels like the barometer to me. My feel, sorry. He feels like the barometer for us when he's on, taking some marks and getting out in leads and maybe even getting a goal in the first quarter. I feel like, the Cats are on here, and he's another dangerous weapon, and it really helps Hawkins out when he's up and going early, and maybe the other forwards too. My best players on the night, I had my way of sort of looking at the best players is I look at the best 3 players each quarter, and then so for each quarter I look at that, and then I figure out who's kind of had the most best on grounds for each quarter. So last night I had Selwood playing a couple of good quarters. Guthrie, clearly not baby Guthrie, didn't even I don't think he got on in the end. Thank God. But Guthrie, the older Guthrie brother, and Tui. Tui had a blinder in that. I think he hit a couple of goals in the quarter, and he was just 13 touches, I think, and he had one amazing quarter, but I think his whole game overall was really good. I'm so glad he got back in the team, and I hope he wasn't out for poor form in the preseason, because clearly we might have helped us against Adelaide the week before having him in the squad. So Selwood, Tui, and Guthrie, my 3 on the ground, my best 3 on the ground. I think I might have had Selwood in the best 3 last week as well. So. And possibly Guthrie too, or maybe the other way around. But I'd say Guthrie and Selwood are probably, in my mind, leading the Cargie Greaves medal at the moment. But early days, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, as I said before, Lachie Neal, Brownlow medalist from last year. What happened to him in the first half? I'll tell you what happened to him. Mark O'Connor, good old Marco Polo. He blanketed him for a whole half, and didn't do a whole lot better in the second half. Got a little bit more of it, but Marco played a great game. I was really pleased with the way he went. He probably won't get much of a rap, and clearly I didn't have him as the best 3 on the ground. But I'm going to give him a bit of a pat on the back for the job he did on Lachie Neal. And the rest of the team. It's not, as we know, defence, I should say, not defence. I get in trouble for saying defence. Defence is not just a one-man gig, it's a whole team effort, and Geelong always plays their best footy when the whole team is working as a cohesive unit in that regard. So I was really, really, really pleased with the lockdown job we did on him. Brisbane's got a lot of other weapons, but overall we tied him up pretty well, and it was only the amount of shots they had on goal from inside, set shots from inside 50 through a lack of discipline, I guess, on our part, and some questionable umpiring decisions that gave them those shots on goal. And thank God they didn't kick them all. There's a couple of shockers they missed, but yeah, it could have been a totally different story if they had kicked a bit more accurately. So yeah, I think I was probably most pissed off about, and you could see it coming. Everyone could see this coming. That the Brisbane ruckman, Oscar McInerney, he rolled his ankle, or he did something to his ankle early in the piece, and then he's just limping along for the rest of the game. And sure enough, everyone saw it coming. Oh my God, medical sub, he can't go on anymore. What do you mean he can't go on? He went on for another hour and a half. all of a sudden, we need a fresh set of legs. Oh, okay, let's put him on the bench when we're going to play catch up football now and throw caution to the wind. On comes the medical sub for Brisbane. Oh, what a shocker! So I really hope the AFL has a good look at that one. That pissed me off, and I'm sure we'll see it again unless the AFL cracks down on that. But I don't know. I'm in the camp. If you're going to have a medical sub, if you're coming off, you're not playing the next week. Like, if it's really that important that you have to come off, fine, okay, come off. But as soon as you bring that medical sub, the person that comes off, he's not playing next week. You can choose not to bring your sub on. That's your choice. That person hasn't officially been subbed off then. But don't use it as a tactical advantage or to bring a fresh pair of legs on. I'm not happy about that at all. And that nearly, you could argue that nearly cost us the game. They were running over the top of us in that last quarter. And thankfully, our boys just somehow found a way, and whoever that umpire was clearly sent from heaven. So thank you very much, whoever you are. Anyway, that's my little rant for the week. I mean, I don't tend to get pissed off about a lot of things, but I wasn't happy about that, and I could just see it happening and whatever. I tell you what, who else was pissed off? Chris Scott. I think he was having words with Lachie Neal at half time or three-quarter time or something like that. Someone, I think it was Selwood, had to, and maybe Guthrie was sort of off the screen, off camera a little bit, had to pull him away, and he was having, that was going on for about 30 seconds, a bit of a chat there, and as the two teams sort of cross paths a little bit. So don't often see that from Chris Scott, but I'm glad he kind of did stand up and show his boys that he cares, and this is my club now. I played for Brisbane years ago, but Geelong's my team. I'll bleed blue and white. Screw you guys. So that was good. It was good to see. So he's a true dyed in the wool Geelong man now. So I'm happy about that. And he'll probably get a bit of a fine, but we should just rattle the tin and help him out a little bit. Maybe us Geelong supporters. So we'll see how we go. So the crowd, some interesting things happened with the crowd. We had about 20,000 last night. I heard that was some people had some difficulty getting in. I think the capacity was about 28,000, so it would have been nice to get a few more in there. And I think a few Brisbane people might have got turned away. That it was an announcement just before the game started or just after the game started about if you'd come from Brisbane if you'd been in Brisbane since the 12th of March, you had to go home, self-isolate and get a COVID test. So I think Wayne Carey, thank God he got sent home and from the commentary team, and then who else? Luke Hodge as well, he got sent home as well. So a few other, I'm sure there were some people in the crowd. Interesting to see the Brisbane cheer squad didn't seem to move too much. So I was wondering whether they might have been more of the old Fitzroy boys. Don't think they all would have been, so that interesting that it didn't see a whole lot of movement there, but don't know. Hopefully they weren't from Brisbane, but that'll be not a good look if they were, I would say. I guess probably the only other thing I want to say about the game last night, it was good to see, and I'll be careful how I say this, because not everyone likes it. I like it when Geelong is in control of the game. It's nothing worse than seeing Geelong, all chaos all over the place. Don't know what they're doing. They all look like headless chooks. It's not the control style of footy that we play isn't always that attractive, but it makes me feel a little bit more secure and calm. Clearly the boys have felt like this game's under control. They're playing that style that they need to play. We've got a bit of a lead. Sure enough, we nearly lost it. And it's round 2, so we probably didn't play that style as well as what we're capable of doing, and clearly what we showed last year. But I think the way we were using it last night, most of the time it was effective, but there were times where it just didn't come off, or someone did a kick, I think there was Blitzars might have kicked it out in the full at one stage, and then I think Isaac Smith did the same thing at one point. So it does break down every now and then, but when it's clicking, when all the boys are in sync and the skills are there, it's a very effective method of controlling the play, and it tends to work, especially when Geelong feels they've got a bit of a sense of control of the game. It's definitely not a style that works that well when we're losing by 2 or 3 or 4 goals. It really just throws us in. Our plan B really isn't as strong if we have a plan B at all. But when we're in front, when we're doing okay, when things are clicking, I'm really pleased when we see that sort of chipping around the back line and looking for that sort of slingshot up the ground when someone opens up. Tends to work pretty well. We can get sort of Hawkins isolated and we can move it pretty quickly when we're ready to go. So it's where Hawkins sort of tends to have come into it, I guess. when they don't have the opportunity to sort of crowd him too much when he's a 3-on-1. So hopefully we'll get. We've got a 10-day break coming up, so hopefully we'll get. Fingers crossed we'll get Jeremy Cameron back. I know he was teasing a bit of a return early from possibly round 3 for the Easter Monday game against the Hawks. So hopefully we'll get him back. Hopefully we'll get Duncan back and Menegola. That'll be great. I mean, 3 ins. I don't know who you're gonna. I mean, there's still room to kick a few people out of the squad. So, but hopefully we'll get a few. Yeah, we'll get a few boys back. I'd like to see Francis Evans get another go. I think Guthrie will lose his medical sub vest or whatever. I don't think they wear a vest, but he won't be a sub. I'm just trying to think who else will go. I'll have a bit of a think about that through the week. But yeah, 10-day break. It'd be interesting to see how we go through how boys pull up. Hopefully there's no injuries. It didn't look like there were on any of the match reports, so hopefully they'll all come out of that pretty well. And be ready to go against their arch nemesis, the Hawthorn Football Club, who absolutely sucks. But we'll see how we'll see if Isaac Smith's still on the payroll with Hawthorn or not. I'd love it if he threw some fists or no, I don't want that. But yeah, I'd love it if he just ran through a couple of his old teammates and maybe kicked 4 or 5 goals or something like that. That'll be great. So anyway. Congrats on the win, Cats fans. Enjoy it. I know it was one of you might think, it feels like a draw. I know a few people are probably feeling that way. One other thing. I was going to read a few things out on the Twitter. So Max Blake, at MaxBlake44 says, how about we talk about Isaac Smith and his match-winning goal for the Cats? They only played 2 games for us, but he has won Geelong 3 games now off his own boot. Yeah, no, he kicked the winning goal last night, Maxie. It was good. It was a good goal. He celebrated well, and the boys got around him, but still can't feel a bit of love for the guy. I love the moment. I think it was 2016, 2014. I can't remember. Someone will correct me. When he winked at his teammate when he playing for Hawthorn, having that shot after the siren, and he missed. It was a qualifying final. That was fantastic. That was awesome. The next one's from Anna Pav at Analyst Sports. Guys, I'm back home. I'm just so happy. I actually cried on arrival. It's good to be back at the footy, wasn't it, Anna? It's footy in Geelong. I don't know if I prefer a day game or a night game. It's just a different atmosphere at both, but it's a thrilling game in Geelong, getting us back on track. It's a fantastic feeling. So I'm glad you had a good time. Fraser says, what is with all this hatred for Geelong? It's a different sort of hatred too, more like a genuine hatred. Yes, the umpiring was bad, but everything seems to get ultra amplified whenever Geelong are involved compared to the other clubs. It's weird. Yeah, Fraser, I think you're right. It is one of those things, isn't it? I think you have a bit of success as a club and everyone just comes for you. And even the slightest hint of arrogance, not that I think Geelong is an arrogant club at all, and maybe we have sort of been a little bit arrogant in the past, when we were winning premierships and things like that. But I think most teams are just sick of Geelong being top 2, top 4 and just want us to sort of finish down the bottom. So whenever we have what's perceived as a bit of love from the umpire or a result that maybe shouldn't have gone our way, it's like, oh, bloody Geelong. So, I feel that way about Richmond at the moment. I didn't when they first made the grand final, and I was happy for them to have a win, and I had a bit of love for the Bulldogs too when they won theirs. But if the Bulldogs won the next 3, I'll tell you what, I'd probably be just like all these other people that hate Geelong as well. So I don't want too much success for the one side, especially if Geelong's. And the last comment from the Twitterverse is from Ms H or MSH, which is H the Cats fan. Isaac Smith knows my birthday is coming and wants me to like him. Ha ha ha. Matey, I'll like it more if you do it against your old mob Easter Monday. Yes, very true. Ms H, I'm really hoping that he'll have a blinder against the Hawks in a week and a half's time and really proves his worth to us. Is he a Geelong man or not? I don't know. I look at him sometimes and I think he's not buying into it that much. He's clearly not fitting in with the team structure just yet, but it's round 2. So anyway, happy birthday whenever that is in the next few days. I'm assuming it's in the next few days. Enjoy. Hopefully you can have a great day, and hopefully the boys win for you on Easter Monday as well. Hopefully you can get a ticket. It shouldn't be that hard to get a ticket to the game if it's at the MCG and it's a nice day on Easter Monday, so that'll be great. Anyway, that's all from me for another week. This went a little bit longer than I thought, but that's okay. So anyway, everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you probably I might do a Beers with Ben episode in the next couple of days, and I'll do my preview. I'm still getting that wrong. Preview of the Hawks game, maybe next weekend sometime. Anyway, take care. Go Cats. Well done, boys. Proud of you. See you later.